everybody, the Law and Gnome is here.
I like this one.
In 2008, Robert Downey Jr. announced to the movie-going public that he was Iron Man. Thus began an incredible journey with a revolutionary style of filmmaking that had never been done before, in which various actors playing some of the most well-known superheroes in all of comics would not only have their own standalone films, but unite together as one collective unit in the Avengers in 2012. And this journey took us 11 years through hard times, amazing times, pure awesomeness, and even heartbreak. And this year, in 2019, we have officially reached Avengers Endgame, the final installment of the first chapter of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Once again, the Russo brothers came back to the director's chairs to complete what they had created in Avengers Infinity War with a movie that people were so excited for, not sure how they were going to feel at the end of the day, but all we were hoping for was a fantastic film that would close out this incredible journey that we have been on for 11 years. And since it is now 2 weeks after the film coming out in theaters, the Russo brothers have officially announced that the spoiler ban is officially down, so there will be a couple of spoilers, not many, but there are some integral things that must be said in order to give you guys my true appreciative thoughts about this movie. I had extremely high hopes for this movie. After Avengers Infinity War, I had a feeling I was going to get possibly the best film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, finally knocking Captain America Winter Soldier off of the #1 spot. It really is the best Marvel Cinematic Universe film for so many wonderful reasons. This movie shows us the true humanity of superheroes, especially at the very beginning of this film. With all of the events that took place in Avengers Infinity War, we see Iron Man, Captain America, Black Widow, you name it. You see them all just not understanding where they can go from here and still trying to figure out possibilities of finding ways to set things right and undo all the things that Thanos had done. Even after they immediately go right after him and pretty much win, it still doesn't help them. Fast forward 5 years later, you see these characters trying to pick up their pieces, and while some of them had moved on, some of them just haven't. But then something interesting happens. Out of the quantum realm, Ant-Man shows up, and who would ever anticipate that Paul Rudd playing Scott Lang would be the saving grace and driving force of these characters to right the wrongs and get all of their friends back. This movie is so amazing. There are no dead spots. There could be a few plot holes here and there, but nothing that would truly take away from this film. The acting in this film is something unlike anything I have seen since Captain America: The Winter Soldier. There is some true beautiful performances. Some could even argue that they are Oscar-worthy performances. I wouldn't consider this film an opportunity to give one of these actors an Academy Award, possibly a nomination. I don't know. But so many amazing things are given to us thanks to these incredible characters. One of the other things that I was very impressed about was, while this movie was very dramatic, it did manage to still throw in that typical MCU humor. However, it is not overdone. It is not out of place. If there is a joke, there is something that is put in the perfect spot, so you laugh, you think it's well done, and then you move on with the movie. There's also a wonderful score from Alan Silvestri. The production value is top-notch. When you get to that final showdown between good versus evil, you truly get one of the most amazing battle sequences that you have ever witnessed in all of film. And we have been seeing some truly great epic battle sequences in film over the last 10 years, but nothing as emotional and as dramatic and as powerful as the final battle in Endgame. There are also some really great things seen in this film, especially when it comes to certain characters, that I'm so glad the Russo brothers decided to do. They gave Hawkeye a whole bunch of additional pieces of depth that I think we've all been wanting, especially considering how this film begins around Hawkeye and what happens and what causes him to do what he does in this film, and the fact that the characters that are his dear friends still want to bring him back down to earth and tell him that he really is a true hero and he will find his peace. I really appreciated what they did with the Incredible Hulk in this film, because it was a nice tribute to one of the comic book stories in Marvel, All Hulks Unite, where Hulk and Bruce Banner finally become one and actually become someone that can stay in the Hulk form and still be just as normal as any other human being, regardless of how big and tall and green he is. I really appreciated that they did that with him. Also, Nebula, a character that has, for me at least, been pretty much a fly on the wall ever since Guardians of the Galaxy, where she first came into the story. I mean, I didn't even anticipate her coming into the story, but then again, I didn't really know much about Guardians of the Galaxy anyway, but I really appreciated how many layers they gave her and how much of a crucial piece she was in this story. But I loved all of the great tributes to science fiction and fantasy with the time travel and the alternate universes. Also, one of the few things that made me very happy about this specific film is the fact that you really had to have seen this cinematic universe unfold from day one. If you were not watching everything since the original Iron Man, there are so many things that even though you might in fact appreciate it, you will not get the true feelings that someone who has been watching these Marvel films for so many years will feel when they're watching this movie. There are so many great callbacks to some of the Marvel Cinematic Universe films. Not all of them, but a great deal of them. One of my personal favorites was when Captain America was in the elevator with S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, and I was like, oh man, here we go, Winter Soldier all over again. This is absolutely awesome. And there's also a ton of additional surprises. I mean, there were certain things that took place in this movie that I did not know were going to happen. Unfortunately, the famous football player LaShawn McCoy gave away a massive spoiler with a character death, but there was another character death that I did not see coming, and that one really surprised me. And this movie really felt like a pure comic book film, just because of the fact that I have read so many great crossovers and great stories in Marvel and in DC, and you get this amazing build-up with an epic conclusion that sometimes could be a little bit confusing at certain points, but in the end there is a major loss that even though there is victory, there is not victory without sacrifice. And that's one of the most important things that this movie gives us, that you could get your happy ending, but it may not be the ending that you truly want, but you do know that because of certain things that have taken place, while it may not be what you want, it will still leave you knowing that you had made a difference and the world is a better place for it. If there is anything negative that I could say about this film, it's a few things, but they're not really anything that take away from the movie itself. I mean, a movie that's over 3 hours long with practically no bathroom breaks, and I was able to basically keep my composure throughout the entire film and watch everything from beginning to end, trying not to miss anything. That says a lot. But one of the few things that I was very upset about was the hype for Captain Marvel, and Captain Marvel really does not have much of a role in this movie. And I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Apparently there is some crazy bad chemistry going on between Brie Larson, Chris Hemsworth, and a couple of other cast members. Apparently she wasn't really welcome because of things that she did, things that she said, but then again, I don't know if that's the truth. But for Captain Marvel to practically be hyped in her own film and barely even show up in this movie, she does come in for, the big fights. And another crucial thing that I really thought we would get a little bit more about was how Iron Man is brought back to Earth. It only happens in a snap, and of course it's because of her. But there's no build-up to her knowing that he's out there, knowing that she has to go rescue him. That's pretty much a big hole, but then again, it really doesn't take anything away from the film. Also, a couple of major characters that do return in this film. It would have been really great to see more of them in the movie, merely because of the fact that they are still relatively new, and we still have yet to see them truly grow in the story. Perfect examples are the Wasp and Valkyrie. There's just so much more that I want to see from them, and it just didn't really make me feel happy or entirely engrossed in their presence in the film. Same thing could be said about Black Panther and even Spider-Man, but then again, I am anticipating these characters to grow, and I was also really surprised that Vision didn't come back, because Vision, I really thought that even though he didn't have the Infinity Stone inside him, I still felt that there was a possible way that he could have returned, and it would have been really great to see him back. But at the end of this film, you couldn't have asked for a better send-off and a proper ending for some of our more crucial characters in this film, and probably the moment that got me so happy was Captain America, because Captain America deserved the ending that he got in this movie. It was just so incredible to see a callback from Captain America, the first Avenger, to truly conclude this chapter and finish this book in Marvel Cinematic Universe lore. It was just so fulfilling, and when that actually happens, you just get up from the theater seat and you just have a smile on your face, and you just say, wow, they did it. What an amazing conclusion. What an amazing last 11 years. Bravo. I am so excited for what is about to come. And that's one of the few things that I really want to harp on right now, because we have so much potential now for Phase 4, 5, 6, however long they want to go in this story, because now that Marvel has all of its properties under one roof right now, will this mean that the X-Men are going to join this cinematic universe with a whole new, hopefully great cast like the one that we've had since 2000? I'm really hoping that they can find a great replacement for Hugh Jackman to play Wolverine if he ever shows up in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, to finally see characters like the Fantastic Four and Silver Surfer and Namor the Submariner. It will be so great to see these characters finally join this lore, because they are just as important as Spider-Man and the Hulk and the Avengers as a whole. I would also love to see some of the characters that have been given to us in the Netflix series play a role. Some people say that they can't be a part of this, but I disagree. To see Daredevil fight alongside Spider-Man would be so amazing. To see Spider-Man take on the Kingpin would be even more incredible, because he is one of Spider-Man's major rogues in his own gallery. There's just so many great things that could possibly be on the road ahead, and I'm so excited for certain characters to make their returns in sequel films in the next couple of years, but more importantly, like I said, a whole bunch of new characters. And what is the brand new chapter of this book going to be? Is it going to be the Kree versus Skrull War? Is it going to be the coming of Galactus? And will there be some bigger surprises as things keep moving forward? Because if there is any way that I feel that this entire story can truly be wrapped up and Marvel can officially close up their entire cinematic universe, they would have to do Onslaught. It's the only way. But who knows? 22 films already under their belts, and they've already done a great job so far. Avengers Endgame is the best film of the year so far. It is one of the most powerful and most unlikely films I anticipated. Even though I knew I was going to have a good time with this movie, I just got so much more from Avengers Endgame, which is why I'm going to be giving it a 4 stars out of 4. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. Please leave your comments in the box below, and let's discuss Avengers Endgame, and I will see you in the next one. Hey, thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. If you're new here and want to see more of what my channel has to offer, please click on the link to my last video, or hit that subscribe button to be kept up to date with all of my uploads. Content of all sorts is posted here quite often, so trust me, you do not want to fall behind. I will see you in the comments, and actions speak louder than words.